Technical Veterinary Learning TVL channel, founded and produced by Professor Ahmed Mamdouh El Sharif, Professor of Epidemiology and Infectious Diseases of Animals, the ex-head of Department of Veterinary Medicine, the ex-Vice Dean of Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, Bani Suef University. Animal infectious diseases caused by Clostridium species toxins. All Clostridium species are anaerobic and spore-forming bacteria. Clostridium classification are the following: domain bacteria, phylum Bacillota, class Clostridia, order Eubacterialis, family Clostridiaceae, genus Clostridium. The most important species are Clostridium shovii, Clostridium hemolyticum, Clostridium novii, Clostridium perfringens, Clostridium septicum, Clostridium sordelli, and Clostridium tetani. All species of Clostridium are gram-positive rods, as appear in this figure, where they take the gram-positive stain. This is another figure under the microscope, where the clostridial species take the gram-positive stain here that found between the blood cells in the bloodstream. Three-dimension shape of Clostridium tetani, which take tennis racket. Three-dimension shape of Clostridium perfringens, gram-positive rods. The rods of Clostridium difficile by three-dimension picture. The shape of Clostridium botulinum in three dimensions, and they are rods. The sporulating Clostridium species that take ink stain reveal that their spores appear as clear and vegetative cells, dark with tennis racket like Clostridium tetani. This shape under the microscope, where the spore appear here by the arrow. The natural habitats of Clostridium species are the soil all over the world, the intestinal tract of all animal species and humans. Classification of clostridial diseases according to effect of their toxins. The first classification showed that clostridial diseases are present into two categories. Number one, invasive form, or that form gas gangrene group. Number two, toxemic form that cause enterotoxemia, diseases, botulism, and tetanus. The second classification of clostridial diseases according to the effect of their toxins. Number one, neurotoxic group that include Clostridium tetani and Clostridium botulinum. Number two, histotoxic group include the Clostridium shovii, Clostridium novii, Clostridium septicum, and Clostridium sordelli. Number three, enterotoxemic group that include the Clostridium perfringens. Conditions leads to development of different clostridial diseases. These conditions are: number one, presence of anaerobic conditions. Number two, tissue damage. Number three, spore germinates and transforms into the vegetative form. Number four, multiplication and toxin production. Number five, the necrotizing toxin expand the area of cellular deaths. In the following slides, we will speak about toxins and diseases caused by different Clostridium species. The early warning signs. Sadly, by time an owner noticed clinical picture of a clostridial disease in one of animals, it will be too late for treatment. As a clear example, the early warning signs with black leg disease is swollen thighs, raised tail in cattle, and lameness. Early warning signs with bulby kidney are loss of coordination. A dead animal is the first sign. The following two tables will contain collective information about Clostridium species, types, and diseases caused by their toxins. Clostridium species. Number 1, Clostridium botulinum. It causes botulism. The species affected are sheep and cattle. Clinical picture, mainly gradual paralysis. Clostridial juvei. The diseases are black leg and malignant edema. Species affected are sheep and cattle. The clinical picture are mainly muscular swelling and bruising trauma. Clostridium novyi type P. It causes the disease, black disease, and species affected are sheep and cattle. Clinical picture mainly with liver disease with migrating flock. Number 4, Clostridium novyi type D. It causes hemoglobinuria. The species affected are sheep and cattle. The clinical picture are initial liver damage with toxin release. Number 5, Clostridium perfringens type A species. It causes small intestine hemorrhagic syndrome in cattle and sheep, with uncommon seen in dairy cattle herds. The second collective information table about Clostridium species, types, and diseases. Number 6, Clostridium perfringens type B species cause lamb dysentery. 2. Sheep. The clinical picture are severe hemorrhagic diarrhea in lambs less than 3 weeks of age. Number 7, Clostridium perfringens type C with necrotic enteritis disease in cattle with severe diarrhea and death in young calves as their mainly clinical picture. While Clostridium perfringens type D cause bulby kidney disease in sheep and cattle, the main clinical picture are sudden death in well-growing animals as main clinical picture. Clostridium septicum cause malignant edema in sheep and cattle. The main clinical picture are gas-filled swellings and death. Clostridium sordelli cause calf apomyositis and malignant edema in sheep and cattle. The main clinical picture are sudden death in calves, apomysial ulceration, and diarrhea. While the Clostridium tetani cause disease called tetanus. Species affected are sheep and cattle, and the main clinical picture are stiffening paralysis, lockjaw, and gradual death. As we said in the beginning of this lecture, the diseases caused by toxins of these species. Clostridium perfringens. Toxins produced by Clostridium perfringens types. Clostridium perfringens type A. Toxins are alpha, epsilon, and B2. Clostridium perfringens type B. Toxins are alpha, beta, epsilon, iota, and P2. Clostridium perfringens type C. Toxins are alpha, epsilon, and B2. Clostridium perfringens type D. The toxins are alpha, epsilon, and B2. Clostridium perfringens type E toxins are alpha, iota, and B2. Clostridium perfringens type B cause enterotoxemia in sheep or lamb dysentery. Clostridium perfringens type C cause struck disease. Clostridium perfringens type D cause pulpy kidney or overeating disease. Clostridium novyi. Toxins produced by Clostridium novyi types. Clostridium novyi type A produce the following toxins: alpha, gamma, delta, and epsilon. Clostridium novyi type B produce alpha, beta, and zeta toxins. Clostridium novyi type C produce gamma toxin. Clostridium novyi type A cause big head disease or swelled head. Clostridium novyi type B cause plaque disease or infectious necrotic hepatitis. Clostridium novyi type D cause bacillary hemoglobinuria. Clostridium hemolyticum. Clostridium hemolyticum produce beta toxin, which is necrotic and hemolytic. Clostridium hemolyticum share information of bacillary hemoglobinuria in fattening cattle and sheep. Clostridium novyi type D cause bacillary hemoglobinuria. Clostridium schoffii or Clostridium fisseri produce three types of toxins: alpha, beta, which is neurotoxic, and hemolysin toxin. Clostridium schoffii or Clostridium fisseri cause black leg or black quarter disease. Clostridium septicum. Clostridium septicum produce three types of toxins: alpha, beta toxin, which is necrotoxic, and epsilon. Clostridium septicum cause brachythiasis, malignant edema, or gas gangrene disease. Clostridium tetani. Clostridium tetani cause tetanus disease. Clostridium botulinum type A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Different types of Clostridium botulinum produce two types of toxins: number 1, highly lethal toxin, and number 2, neurotoxin. Clostridium botulinum cause botulism. Toxin characterization. Alpha toxin are lethal, necrotizing, oedematizing, and microvascular destruction in character. Beta toxin characterization is hemolytic, necrotizing, and lithosinase in its effect. Gamma toxin shows hemolytic and lithosinase in its effect. Delta toxin characterization are oxygen labile and hemolysin in its effect. Zeta toxin has hemolysin effect. Epsilon toxin has vitiliinase and lithosinase in its effect. Economic importance of clostridial diseases. We summarize them in the four following points. Number 1, cost of anthelmintics, vitamins, protein supplements, and trace elements such as selenium and phosphorus, which needed for every animal in the flock. Number 2, degree of risk that the owners to be accepted. Number 3, the vaccination cost of all of these diseases. Number 4, value of the stock that will be vaccinated. We're keeping you on the right track, so please subscribe the channel to reach to the most newest knowledge about the epidemiology and different infectious diseases of different species of animals. See you later.